Finally, He-Man the way you want to see him, on Earth with a bunch of teens. We saw Masters of the Universe, so you know what that means.
Now it's time for How Did This Get Made? We're gonna have a good time, celebrate some failure, not just be a hater, cause you know you wonder, how did this get made? Let's wallow in the mediocrity of subpar art. Perhaps we'll find the answer to the question, how did this get made?
Hello, people of Earth, and welcome to How Did This Get Made? Old school theme song. Please welcome my two co-hosts, Jason Mantzoukas. How are you, Jason?
I'm good, Paul. How are you?
Very good. And June Diane Raphael. How are you, June?
I'm doing great. How are you, Paul?
Really good. I want to remind you guys, if you've not been reading them, Blake Harris has been writing amazing How Did This Get Made companion pieces. He's interviewing real people from these movies, talking to them and getting great stories. Masters of the Universe is the same story there. Check it out on /film. Here we go. We have a very special guest today. Please welcome to the program Emmy nominee, at this point, Emmy nominee, Tatiana Maslany, Orphan Black. We are huge fans. We're so excited that you're here.
I'm huge fans of this podcast. I'm a few huge fans of this podcast.
Recording this on Emmy weekend.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I love it.
We could technically, in a couple days when this gets released, we could be saying
Now,
Emmy winner.
yes.
We could be really,
I highly doubt it.
Do you want to try your dresses on for us?
Yes.
And we can help you
I
decide
brought
what
them
to
all.
wear this weekend?
They're actually just being carted in right now.
Perfect.
This is going to be great. We'll all
Yeah.
be trying on outfits.
And we're here to do hair and makeup for
Great.
you. For the
Yes.
weekend. Okay, great.
And the winner of the podcast gets to be your date to the Emmy, right?
Hey!
This is going to
Yes.
be very exciting. Unfortunately, it's coming out after the Emmy, so that
God damn
contest
it.
is really messed up. This movie, Masters of the Universe, has been a movie that people have told us to do for a very long time and has been unavailable. And it finally came on Netflix.
Why. I can't imagine why this movie wasn't available to watch just easily.
It still wasn't available on Canadian Netflix, P.S.
Oh, really?
No. I had to buy this movie.
Well, we
Spent
thank you.
$8 on this film.
This movie is...
Consider yourselves lucky.
Yeah, I do. Now I own it.
Canada.
Yeah. Oh,
Well,
right.
now, well, now it's going to make a really nice piece in your bookcase of DVDs, just Masters of the Universe right up there. This movie is, to me, and I know we're going to probably upset some diehard He-Man fans, but has nothing to do with He-Man at all, really.
No.
I mean, like, anything that I remember of it, Orko and a tiger.
I don't know the He-Man mythology.
Okay.
This is my intro to it. So
Yeah.
I was like, I just took it
Same.
at face value, like, this is what he is.
Well,
this is what
it's
he's about.
interesting because the first shot of He-Man, like the first time we see him after we meet Skeletor, he looks just disinterested.
Yeah.
Just like, it's like the strangest reaction. He's just like, yeah.
Well, this brings
Like
me to
he doesn't even want to be there.
It brings me to my first point, which is He-Man seems to be not spectacular at anything.
No,
Nope.
his fight style is like marked at like it's
Yes.
it's like a rehearsal.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's like we're just like kind of gonna walk
Yes.
through the
Yep.
motion.
Yeah.
It's slow and
Yeah.
deliberate.
Like 50%.
Yep.
Let's do
Yeah.
this at 50%.
Is He-Man's? I mean, are his? I don't know that He-Man's.
We have to only
lore,
base it
but-
on what we're watching, so I guess.
Okay, but he's just strong.
But he doesn't even seem that strong. He doesn't seem.
No, he doesn't.
He doesn't seem that much stronger than anyone that he fights.
Sure.
He doesn't seem like his sword work is any much better.
He just kind of holds it in the air.
Yeah.
To be fair, he uses the sword more than using the sword to cut down people. He uses it to deflect laser blasts and to
right.
hold in the other hand from the hand that he's holding a gun in.
He uses
He's shooting guns always.
a lot of gun shooting. He uses his sword as a shield.
Yes.
And then uses his gun as his weapon.
Yeah.
Which is a bizarre thing.
I did not play with He-Man. The cartoons were not anything I watched. But I don't remember him having a laser gun as part of his setup.
It also felt like he was just kind of picking those up off
Yes.
the ground. Like it wasn't
He's
something
a-
he had. It was
he's
like,
a
oh,
Fucking
yeah.
scavenger.
He is.
Well, it was like playing a game of Halo. Like you
Yes.
run around and be like, oh, pick up gun.
Oh,
blah, blah,
let me
blah,
get
blah.
this, yeah.
Well, was this considered like a He-Man movie? Like
Yes, I mean this is the
only
He-Man.
He-Man movie.
He-Man. Wow.
Live action He-Man.
Again, I don't know He-Man. I don't feel connected to him as a character, but I feel badly for him.
But do you now?
This was it.
Yeah.
Well, but here's the thing.
This was it.
The end of the movie, spoiler alert, but at the end of the movie, he does take the sword back and goes, I have the power. which is not the He-Man saying, but
It isn't?
But like, yeah, he said by the power of.
Isn't that the end of He-Man saying? By the power of Grayskull,
He goes, I have
the power.
Oh, okay.
I think that is.
He says
his,
power twice in his.
I think so.
By the power of Grayskull, I have the power.
That's
power. But but even when he does that, it's the first time that he has done that,
Yep.
and he had the sword the entire time. I don't understand what that gave him. The power didn't seem to be more.
Giving him the power that Skeletor was trying to steal,
Which is the power of the universe?
like that cosmic power kind
Right.
of thing.
Well, which brings me to my next question, which is, can anyone succinctly describe what the plot of this movie was?
Oh wow!
Ooh,
Yeah,
that's
that was-
a tough.
I know the
boy.
emotional journey of the teens. Like, I
Yes.
feel like Courtney Cox's character was
Courtney Cox
very
is in this movie.
Yes.
so in the movie.
She's like 100%
100%
in this movie.
I feel like she's giving. She is committed to this character, which is. I love sometimes when you look at the cast of Friends, they did do a lot of weird things. Like Jennifer Aniston was in Leprechaun.
Oh, yeah.
Like Courtney Cox is in Masters of the Universe.
Which also has a leprechaun-esque character.
man.
Oh yeah, this
But
movie.
see, what is her emotional journey though?
Well,
Because-
let's get
well,
into
the
it.
thing is, she lost her parents
Yes.
in
Yeah.
a plane crash.
Yes.
A lot
That
of
her
questions
dad
about-
was the pilot.
And it was just to go to a beach, which seemed really close. Like, we're going to the beach in a plane.
Time
think
out,
it was
time out.
that-
First of all, we see the house that she lives in with her parents.
Yeah.
It's modest.
Yeah.
At best. It is very modest.
Yeah.
So her dad is not.
We get what you're saying. I mean, the subtext of that is she's like a poor, gross person.
Super gross.
I don't. Okay. She's a disgusting garbage poor person.
Who wears onesie pajamas.
Her parents cannot afford a private plane.
No, they're flying like a propeller. Her dad is like a propeller plane pilot, I think.
I think
they're
June,
flying
I think
like,
June's saying that he can only afford like a remote control airplane at best.
Even then. Okay, I have to be totally honest.
I agree. Let's break it down.
Taking up flying as a hobby.
Her dad
that's for
is
rich
wearing
people.
glasses.
That is for rich people. The better people of the planet.
Well, sure, society's chosen one.
Okay, absolutely.
We're gonna get a lot of feedback on who's able to fly.
Well, look,
And who should be able to
this
fly.
podcast
That's the
goes
right.
out to the
Get
right people.
out
I
of
mean,
our skies, poor people.
Because by the way, to first of all,
Maybe
to
that's why they
purchase a
crash.
plane and to
She seemingly takes
purchase
the keys
space to keep
from
that
the
plane in a hangar. That's,
Sure.
these are
Oh,
this
hangar
is an
costs?
expensive.
Hangar. It's like
hobby.
buying a boat.
That's right.
Kevin Hart can afford it, not her dumb parents.
No.
Yeah, they live in a very modest home. So, okay, so
But in
on
a
the
pretty
day
nice
they
suburb,
died,
a pretty nice little town, very idyllic
it's fine.
kind of.
Yeah.
It's fine.
It's
For gross people, it's fine.
June's really changed, guys.
It's fine.
It's
It
fine.
might as well be Detroit.
But I
June
do
right
think-
now is
no, because,
burning
by the
money
way,
as she's
I do
talking.
I do think it goes to her character's journey because she is supposed to be just a girl who's waitressing for some extra cash and wants to get out of this town,
Yep.
this podunk town. And so in that scenario, her parents don't own a private plane.
No.
They do not.
Well, by the way, why overcomplicate it? Just say they got into a car accident, right? I mean, a
See,
plane
what
to
I
fly to a
thought-
beach
what I was so
very.
ready for. I was so ready for the scene in which they justified why they were on a flight because I thought when they went into that portal they were going to zoom past their parents midair.
I'm
that
sorry.
Wait. What?
That makes more sense to me than
makes-
what
Wait,
happened.
Tatiana,
Thank you.
it does?
Yes, absolutely. Because
And
why
ground
else?
It makes more
Why
sense
else?
that you both anticipated that we would see them flying in midair next to the plane.
Because
Grab them.
you have
Really?
this-
Grab them?
grab them.
Grab them.
Wait,
Grab them
wait.
into the
Mid,
portal.
like kind of collide.
Yes, and get them in there, and then all head out together and to the other
They're
side.
gonna
That
grab
makes
them
sense.
out of the plane?
Or just grab the plane.
If you're-
cars, by the way, cars are going through that portal.
Okay.
Oh yeah.
Yes, they could.
So you
grab
think the parents are continually in this portal of the airplane?
No.
I thought for sure we were going to find them like midair and they were going to exit on the other side.
that-
Because why
would've
else
been
would
amazing.
you put them in the air?
Why?
Yeah.
Why?
Unless to use it.
Yes.
Yeah.
It was insane.
Well,
Yeah.
it just,
That was insane. Yes,
That was-
that was insane that they didn't do that.
in my opinion.
You know what I loved about that side story was the introduction of it, where it cuts to like after like the cute banter like over chicken wings or something between Courtney Cox and her boyfriend. Kevin. Sorry,
who's the real hero of the movie because he's a man.
Yeah,
Played by
exactly.
it's so great.
So and then it cuts to like a wide shot of just the car, and she goes, "I really want to go say bye to my parents." He goes, "Yeah, sure." And it's just like, okay, like, or I want to go to the graveyard to say bye to my parents. Yeah, sure. It's just like, okay, that's the next thing the next scene that we do.
They also, by the way, when they're at that gravesite, they're just looking at the gravesite, and then it's like a really emotional moment. And they're like, "Oh, cool! Look, this thing just fell out of the sky. Oh, wow!" And they start playing with it immediately.
Right.
All
And
emotion is
like,
dropped.
The thing is like beep boop beep, and he's like, "It's a Japanese synthesizer." Done.
That fell from the sky.
Decision made.
By the
I
way,
know what it is. Japanese synthesizer.
One of those Japanese synthesizers.
By the way, just in case you are confused, yes, this movie starts in Eternia, which is the He-Man land, and then quickly and without any
With
real
like Skeletor and all of those, like all of the components of He-Man, I'm assuming.
right for the first 5 minutes, and then clicks over to just present day America.
So happy they did though. I was so happy.
But
Couldn't
with
stay in
no
that
transition.
land.
It was
It
like we're
was
in
as
it.
if-
We're in a rib shack, and
It was
it's like
it was as if 7 minutes into Zardoz, he finds himself in Sean Connery finds himself in like 1984 suburban America, and is just running around with a rifle in his weird red diaper, going like Zardoz. Like it's that jarring a juxtaposition.
And they don't seem to be trying to hide being in America.
Well, they don't know where they are. They just know they're on another planet.
But this is my big problem. No, they don't seem. Have they done this type of time traveling before through portals?
I don't think so.
Yeah.
And has anyone in present day, 1984 or whatever year it was, seen anyone from?
Eternia?
Yeah, because nobody seems that surprised.
No. Yeah. Oh no. That there's like
It's
a
just
like a
like-
real life gremlin walking around.
That guy.
Nobody. That guy.
That guy.
That
I just kept
guy.
thinking Jar Jar Binks for some reason
Oh.
from
that
his
guy
introduction.
really is.
This movie is the production values are so terrible that I kept worrying for the actor in that prosthetic because it moved so little. I was like, he must be dying.
By the way, that's
Poor
Billy
Bob.
Barty,
Never.
famous Billy Barty, who's been in a lot of costumes like that. But by the way, these costumes hurt the actors very
bet.
badly.
I felt bad for Frank Langella.
Well,
as
Meg
Skeletor.
Well, I think his is the one that doesn't have that many problems.
Okay.
Because Meg Foster's costume, she's the woman who fought around with He-Man.
Evil Lynn?
Oh wait, yes.
Oh, no, the
wait.
other one.
Evil.
You're right. Evil Lynn. Meg Foster's Evil Lynn. Her costume weighed 45 pounds, and the actress sustained bruises to her groin and breastplate. She
listening.
It constructed of fiberglass, and it restricted her movements a great deal, which is why she's never shown sitting. And she said the discomfort from the costume helped inform her performance, but the weight and design of the costume made her puff out her chest during every take, which generated the character's slinky posture.
Oh, you know what? I use a bruised groin all the time when I act. I'm like, ooh, I'm going to use this bruised groin.
But I'm sorry to go back to the parents. I just need you for 1 second. So
Yeah.
they
Courtney
were all
Cox's
planning.
parents.
So let me understand. They were all planning to go to the beach that day.
Yes.
No, I don't think
Yes.
so.
They
She wanted
were.
them to do something with her and stay, I thought.
They were like, we're going to go to the beach.
no,
And she's like, I'm going to stay
Jason.
home and study.
Oh.
But she was really going to stay home and make out with her boyfriend.
I see. I
That's
got
what
it.
happened.
But was it that they
Apologies.
were going to not get on the plane if they were going to go to the beach?
Yes.
That was my
Oh.
understanding. It was
Oh,
like,
so it's
let's
that.
go to the beach, or we're going to get on this flight for some reason.
I thought at the end of the movie, they go, we're going to go fly to the beach. And they're like, no, we can't fly to the beach.
Yes. I
That's
think
what I
that is
thought.
what they said at the end.
I think that she just thought if she was on the plane with them or stopped. I mean, I don't know. I mean, because now she's creating a
this
final
is what I was-
destination situation where
this is-
maybe
Ooh,
now
it's gonna
death will
catch up
come
with
after
them.
the parents.
But see, this is the issue I had with the film. There was no emotional journey for her. If she had somehow made the wrong decision in the beginning that caused her parents' death and then come back to make such a different decision.
Well, the decision that she
All
made
she
was,
made was like, oh, don't get on the plane. But there was no...
oh, right. She just stopped them from.
She's still with Kevin.
She literally steals their, like, it seemed to me like their plane keys and runs away and ran
her
away.
father says, give me back those keys.
And then she just ran away from the house. It wasn't
a
like, I'm going to
nightgown.
spend time with you. Yeah.
In
It was,
a
in like a
nightgown.
Laura Ashley, like
onesie.
gigantic
Like
nightgown.
it looked like Little House on the Prairie, like oh my god.
We haven't explained that what we're talking about is at the end of the movie, after they save Eternia and defeat Skeletor, the weird little troll guy sends them back to Earth, but before Courtney Cox's parents have died. So they're still alive. So that's why she's... Anyway, who cares?
Well, so the movie obviously starts off, and for the beginning of it, we were looking at each other and going, I didn't understand what was going on. There is actually like the dialogue. I pulled a clip of this dialogue here, which is just the nonsense words of, this is like the dialogue in the first 5 minutes here.
He-Man, I show 0.84 chromons to Moonrise at Grayscope. We better find the key and we better find it fast.
What's your plan?
When we find the key, Gwildor will set the coordinates for Grayskull. We'll use the element of surprise.
Oh, sure, we'll drop right into the throne room. Fight off 2,000 or 3,000 of Skeletor's crack troops, break into the force field, and free the sorceress.
Right.
If we're going to split up, we better synchronize our personal locators. You both ready? And
if you find the key, activate the sorceress.
Poor Dolph Lundgren. Poor Dolph Lundgren. I feel like all of his lines, they're like, okay, he can't say more than like 5 words in a row.
Well, here's
so, buddy, you're going to do all the talking, other guy with a mustache.
Well, here's the thing, too. Apparently, he did not know English during this film.
Oh, really?
Blake Harris, who's been writing our things, actually interviewed his person who coached him. He was not supposed to be, his voice was not supposed to be in the movie.
Oh, like Hercules in New York?
Yes, and they were going to give him, in his contract, he had 3 chances to dub it, and if it didn't work, then they would get another actor, but they always intended to get another actor. But then the movie lost all of its financing, and they were like, oh, we got to rush this out. So they didn't have time to redub the movie, so they just left it in.
Wow.
And that's where you get this performance. He was sweet. I mean, he was just like fresh off the boat. It wasn't like, it was like body type
fresh
only.
off the boat on ABC?
Check it out.
Thursday night.
It was so 80
That's
yards.
very subtle marketing, Paul.
Hey, don't worry about it.
That is very subtle marketing.
I love that guy Mitch on the show. He's funny.
Paul,
and
that is the character you play.
Oh, that's so funny. I didn't even think about that.
Wow, that is crass.
Well, I know that well, it's weird. I mean, I don't know. I'll stay tuned after that to watch The League on FXX. You're on that show, right?
Well, I don't know what you mean.
He-Man also disappears for a large chunk of the movie.
Well, that's the thing I wrote. I was like, there's a part of what I was shocked about was here's a movie about He-Man and the Masters of the Universe kind of mythology and all this stuff, but most of it takes place in suburban America on like Main Street, where every once in a while a huge battle will break out between Skeletor's forces and He-Man and his guys, and there are never townspeople around anywhere.
Yeah.
Like a war is happening in their tiny town.
They also
with
have
spaceships, and everybody's dressed like Darth Vader.
No, yeah.
And the music is very Star Wars.
Oh, yeah.
It felt like
they're ripping off Star Wars everywhere for no reason.
I mean, it is so, they are straight up black stormtroopers. I mean, they're just, instead of white stormtroopers, they're black stormtroopers.
Yeah.
That's it. There's no real difference to them.
Did anyone else feel also that we were getting set up for He-Man and Courtney Cox's character?
Yeah.
Yes.
To find love.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, I thought
I
so
felt
too.
that
Yeah.
in that first scene,
she seemed to
for
have
sure.
an issue with Kevin, and
It was like Kevin was a bad boyfriend, but he wasn't a bad boyfriend. He seemed to be a pretty good guy.
No, you know
who's
what,
really
though?
into music.
Yeah.
You know what, though,
Loves
I didn't
music.
like was I didn't like every time something happened to them, Kevin was like, okay, I'm in charge of it. You know, like she's like, hey, look at this thing over here. And he's like, oh, cool, Japanese synthesizer. You stay here. I'm going to go take care of it. You stay in the school. You do, like she is consistently marginalized. And then at the end, He-Man is like, they have this big moment. She gets hit in battle. She takes the hit, like all this stuff. And He-Man is like, goodbye, Courtney Cox character. And then he says to Kevin, you take care of her. Like, come on, man.
And by the way, she also falls for the mirage of her dead mother.
Oh,
Whoa.
yeah, big time.
I mean,
yeah.
how do
She
you
really-
not know that there is sorcery going on there?
She bought it so quickly because her mom's like, I wrote it down, I think, 'cause she was like,
Doing
she's
secret work.
Yeah, we've been doing secret work. It was not set up that her mom was like involved.
Nope.
It seemed like her mom could have been anything, but she's like, oh yeah, that makes sense. My mom was doing secret work, had to
That
fake her
actually
death.
upset me. I mean, the whole thing with the parents, it was pretty, I think, emotionally manipulative.
Yeah.
You think?
Oh my god.
The
It's just like, I can't watch this. This is just.
I will tell you,
much.
I will tell you one thing that when we were in Skeletor's castle, by the way, I think Frank Langella is awesome in this movie, and clearly I think just wrote his own, like he made Skeletor this like Shakespearean villain.
Totally.
Like his speeches are amazing.
Beautiful.
And
But
like
Voice is amazing.
Didn't you feel like the Skeletor mask made him look like Jack Palance? At the beginning of the movie, I was like, oh, it's Jack Palance. And then I was like, oh, no, that's just the mask. Looks like Jack Palance. It's actually Frank Langella.
it's like how they took the William Shatner mask and made the Halloween mask.
Jason Voorhees.
So yeah, this is like for Legend of Curly's Gold, and they just use it for Frank
I'm
Langella.
still
Or not Jason
I'm
Voorhees.
still not clear on what that machine does.
The key?
Exactly. The key.
Yeah.
What it does and
I
why
didn't
he
get
wanted
any of it. I didn't get why the portal opened. I didn't know why now he's the master of the universe.
It actually seemed to me that the bigger deal was taking that sword and putting it in that special sword slot.
Oh, right.
The sword slot that had like a
know
weird
what-
like alarm on it, like little blinking lights, like toot, 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 like you can't
Yep.
take the sword out now.
Locked.
So the thing that always gets me when I looked at Skeletor's castle is, I think, for movie sets, obviously you want it to be big and bold, but I didn't like how many balconies there were without railings. I felt that would be a very dangerous castle to work in. Everything was too
Well, there's
elevated.
no children in the movie.
But
So-
still, I think like
Are
it's
you
like
just
being
saying
the
that if
edge
you
of a
had a couple
building.
drinks?
I just think I wouldn't want to be walking there and just, if I'm
think you've
texting
done
or something,
baby
just
Yeah, it
walk off
wasn't
the
safe.
side. Yeah. It's a poorly designed castle. But he was also in the Skeletor castle, which his throne was in front of the portal that allowed him to be the master of the universe. So it seemed like, I don't know if he was like just squatting on that or because
When it
castle?
opened up
when it
behind
opened
him,
up, it just seemed like
Yeah, I wondered
Yeah.
if
What
that
are you
had always
asking?
been
in the
there.
castle, like that portal opened up behind him, but it seemed like that was built into the castle.
Oh, yeah, maybe. I
I
don't
don't
know.
understand that. I
Also,
didn't. Yeah.
when he harnessed the power of the universe,
Yes.
his aim went out the window hard. He was all powerful, but just couldn't quite zap He-Man with the power of the universe.
But the
yeah.
power of the universe brings about one
It's
of the
limited
worst.
there.
I get-
Just
yeah.
in terms-
One of the worst fight scenes I've ever seen. So much so that they do it in the dark. The two
Yes.
leads finally fight in the dark, and someone just has a flashlight on them to show their mediocre at best stunt work. Why not just get two pros in there? Frank Langella's in a full mask. Dolph Lundgren is a monstery, huge, bulked up guy. Just have one good fight. It's in the dark. It is literally in the dark. You have to squint back. I guess through shadows, this is a pretty badass fight. Nothing.
I wanted to know more about the team, the He-Man team, because the old guy, Mustachio.
Oh, I wish his name was Mustachio.
So there's the old guy, and then there's the woman, and then there's the whatever his name is, the creature.
Yeah.
Gwildor or something.
Grildor, who everyone loves. No matter what Grildor did, they're like,
oh, Grildor.
yeah, they're laughing at him.
You did it again,
I actually got upset
Grildor.
about that though, because when they first went through the portal and they ended up, I don't know, wherever they were, he was
Next to the cow?
Yes, next to the cow. That little creature had his face stuck in a pond.
And he kind of became a dog. They
Yeah.
were he was whoa, shook himself off, and they're whoa, Gildor.
And then they're laughing at him oh, you almost drowned.
hysterically at
Well, it's
him.
basically
It's so cruel.
your arms don't work enough to even pick yourself up off the ground. You would drown face first in a puddle
Yes.
if we weren't able to get you because apparently your limbs aren't strong enough
That's
to
not
remove
funny.
you
That's
from
really
the puddle.
sad. That's
Yeah.
really sad.
By the way, I mean, just to draw one quick comparison here, from my knowledge of He-Man, as a child I haven't really revisited it, but He-Man's sidekick was a character named Orko, who was a wizard. You never saw his face. He wore a hat, and he had and he floated. And
Didn't He-Man have some sort of animal with him
There was
too?
he had
a
a tiger.
cat.
Yeah,
Oh,
cat.
yeah,
Yeah, cat. You're right. Yeah.
yeah.
Well, what about Shira? The woman who
That's
was
a
in the
side
team?
character.
Oh,
I mean,
okay.
she had her own show.
That's the Red Sonja to his Conan.
Yeah.
Okay,
Which-
so
Which
so the
these are
woman with him-
unrelated. Which these two things totally
no, I thought-
unrelated.
I thought they
To
were a
even-
father. I thought-
to even bring up Conan the Barbarian in reference to He-Man would be almost impossible because what would they have in
I
common?
mean, they're so
What would they
different.
have in common?
So different.
What about Conan? I could say. What about
So-
Conan in space? Oh yeah, that works. We'll do Conan in space. Well, we can't call it Conan, though. Okay, He-Man.
He-Man. Now the
saying they were father-daughter. I don't think they were.
I think they were.
They were.
No.
Because she at
Yeah,
one
she
point was
said
like
dad.
father.
Yeah,
like,
right. Yeah.
Really?
Like, side note.
Weird.
Yeah.
And by the way, what was the side plot of her being a vegetarian?
They all were.
Oh, I didn't
all
realize
were
that.
On
Okay.
the
Vegetarians.
planet, I think in the future, everyone's a vegetarian.
Why not set that up just like the smallest amount, like just so we can get a little bit,
Yeah.
wow, they do things weird here. They didn't seem to be like surprised at anything.
They're eating ribs. They're eating
Everybody's
ribs.
eating meat
Yeah.
in this movie.
On
Grill
Earth.
door.
People are getting
Grill
on
door
Earth.
uses
When they eat, wherever they're from, when they get to Earth, they find ribs.
Their first mission is to get food. They use a giant grappling hook to steal someone's ribs out of the back seat of their car.
While they're making out.
Yeah, and then Grilldor doesn't know how to eat ribs, so he just drinks the barbecue sauce down.
I was so worried about that actor because all I could think of was like the gravy
Yeah.
always being in his mask, just
Well-
like sitting in the pocket
Yeah.
of his face.
Again,
for like
another-
the rest of the shit.
Yeah.
Another
exactly.
costume thing, the guy who played Beastman in this, his teeth were so large that he was unable to close his mouth. So when
You
he
could
would
see
just
that.
drool, he would just drool down his costume and just weigh him down. Like apparently.
The added weight of drool. He's like, I have 3 quarts of drool in my boots right now.
And then the other guy, the dad, or we think the dad, he also had a lot of sweat in his boots, and he said that every day he would dump out sweat from his boots because it was the costumes are so confined.
He was wearing what looked like a children's Halloween costume of Spaceman.
Yeah.
You know what
Yes.
I mean? Like he was wearing utter nonsense mustachio.
And she was wearing a metal thong.
I
Did
mean,
anybody notice that? There was like,
that was the only thing I was cool with in this movie.
Very practical.
Yeah, I mean, that I don't understand why He-Man, and again, if we're going to this idea that,
I did think He-Man looked great.
all right.
so oily.
So oily, but I think he's a beautiful man.
He looks like Cillian Murphy.
Oh,
Did anybody else think that?
oh yeah.
Well,
That is
that's
different,
interesting
yeah.
because there's a picture of Cillian Murphy, and I actually look a lot like him. And when my dad saw the movie Sunshine,
Wait,
he
Yeah, you
thought
look like
I was
Cillian
the-
Murphy?
Yeah.
Yes. I said,
Your dad thought
That's-
you were the actor
My dad
Cillian
thought
Murphy.
I was, first of all, the lead of like a major motion picture.
And
that
had
he-
never mentioned
that
it.
he just happened to see in the movies one day. So that's its own story. But he thought that I was the lead of the movie.
By the way, I'm just pulling up
And I
a picture
said,
of this
"Dad,
to show.
I'm
That's
now-
a man.
I'm now
I mean,
realizing
there is some sort of similarity. When I was a brunette, there was it.
when I was a brunette, it was possible that I might have been confused with Cillian Murphy. Is
The
what you're
male-
positing?
By my father.
Yeah, by your
your
father,
father.
the person who arguably
Oh.
knows you best.
Sweetheart, I've just seen the entire movie that you're in. I loved it. That's crazy. What?
I know it is crazy. It is crazy. I mean, I
You
know
and your dad
people
have
make
very
fun of their
interesting
parents,
theories on movies.
I know people make fun of their parents, like, oh, my dad calls Matt Damien, like those kind of like disconnects.
Sure.
But my dad thought that I was a man, a male actor. Who was the lead of a movie playing a male character.
And wait,
So
did he think you
that's-
were like having a separate male career that you were like you couldn't talk about?
Why didn't she tell me she was the lead of this
You know,
movie?
his knowledge of things, like he's just like, well, I know you're in movies and TV. Like, why couldn't it be you? In some ways, I
Well, that's
took
very-
it as
that's
a
nice.
compliment,
Sure.
because I think he thinks that should be me.
Sure.
Maybe it is. And he heard me talking about stuff. Maybe this is the project.
Oh my God, I love that.
This is the project. This project where you're
Yeah,
playing
I'm at a
man.
movie.
But
at
it
a
also
movie
goes
she
to
said
show.
she was working on
But it
one.
also goes to show
might
your
be
dad.
her.
Your dad might have just like. My question is: did your dad think that Cillian Murphy was a woman that entire movie? Would that make his rewatching
Oh,
of it
that's
interesting?
interesting.
Because if he thought it was you, he may have a whole
I
different.
thought it was a
interpret-
female character. I just didn't understand why they called the main woman in the movie Mike.
Oh my gosh!
That is unbelievable.
So outrageous.
But he
I
also-
just like
he
the
also
idea of your
gets
dad
really-
watching and be like, "Oh, June."
He also gets really caught up on, like, do you remember when he saw The Departed? And he was so upset because he felt like all the actors looked exactly the same. Like he feels that
Your dad
there
might
should
suffer
be-
from face blindness.
Face blindness, yeah, totally.
He feels that they should look so different because
Well-
otherwise he can't follow.
Well, the good news with this movie is that he would have no problem because they're so diverse. These
Oh, yeah.
characters.
that's true.
Karg.
Karg. Loved Karg.
Karg? I wrote Karg is my favorite.
Karg, me too. Karg.
Karg, exclamation.
Yes.
I have a Karg.
Wait, you
and then
spelled it with a C. I spelled it with a K.
Oh,
I wrote
interesting.
Karg leader question mark like this the smallest most diminutive character of this entire world like and you're their leader. He's like go get them like
Yeah, no,
he
he's
becomes
like the head of the bounty hunters or whatever. They have like a straight from Star Wars introduction of the when they when they introduce the bounty hunters on
it's like
the
Frogman,
Imperial Starship,
Beastman,
and they do it
Robot.
here too. Here are the bounty hunters, and they're each
take
and
a
every
step
one of them
forward.
are ludicrous.
yes.
Blade.
Frogman's costume was amazing.
That was
And I was
great.
like, why did he get killed off so fast? Everyone else's mask is
Yeah.
like restrictive. You can't tell their mouth is
Yeah.
moving.
Oh, they should have killed Beastman instantly.
Immediately.
They just put ammonia in his face. Ah! Like by the way,
where did that ammonia come from? Why was there ammonia at a sound check
fantasy ball.
at a
Yeah.
high school grad?
well, by the
Like,
way,
come.
that's minutes before they just have a fight in an abandoned box factory. Like they run out of
Yep.
the school and they're just in just a place with empty boxes. Just everyone's getting tossed
I
to death.
thought for sure that when I saw that the senior ball was the theme was the fantasy, I thought for sure we were going to do like a really cool sequence where these fantastical characters were kind of in the sets and and that just never happened.
Yeah, that's a missed opportunity.
Well,
It's
I mean,
a real
yeah.
misstep.
Well, I think it was probably extras casting. They just didn't have anybody. Like
They had no extras in
she's
this movie.
she's leaving before the senior dance or whatever.
Or graduation.
Or graduation.
Yeah.
And it didn't make any sense, but yet she's like, she go to the sound check and she's like, just let me be here for a second. Like,
Yeah, Courtney Cox is. Yeah, go ahead.
No, the sound check was a solo sound check
yeah.
at night with
Right.
no one checking the sound.
Just him basically
Just like-
pre-hooking up his instruments. Like,
Yeah.
I'll leave this here for
Yeah.
tomorrow night. Tomorrow night we'll really get
and
into
then vibing on the little Japanese synthesizer.
And by the way, by himself. Like, so was he just sound checking for like he seemed to just play keyboards? He
Well, I
didn't.
don't know if can you sound check on your own or you need someone else to.
You need somebody in the back to be like
Yeah.
You
raising
need it-
levels.
Yeah, to be
Yeah,
okay, a
actually
little bit
check it.
more. Give me more in the monitor.
And by the way, this was their last date. Like this
Yeah.
is like was set up as
He's
their last
about to
date.
drive her to the airport or whatever.
And she's like, let me go to the grave site. Let's do your sound check, and then I'll leave
then-
forever.
and
like
then-
that was a real romance. And then they'll
in
eat
the
some
middle
chicken.
in the middle of that, she's like, he's like, you know what? Even though you're about to leave, I'm gonna bring this Japanese synthesizer that fell from the sky down to Charlie's to see what he thinks of it. Let's not do that together. She's like, I'm gonna stay here and say goodbye to the school or whatever. So they split apart for a part of their last hour on Earth.
Yeah.
By the way, also note that she has not packed up her parents' house. Like her plan seems to have been to just leave it.
Yeah.
To just simply walk
To just
away.
Incredible
from a
Hulk
home.
style, like
Yeah.
duffel bag, get out of there.
I just was reading one fact as you guys were talking about the guy who plays Saurod. We were talking about the guy who has the best costume. I think the reason why he was not too much in the film is because he was technically blind when he was in that costume.
What?
The prosthetics made him blind.
No.
They
Yes, I mean
blinded-
not in real life.
they
He could
so that
see.
he couldn't see.
He could not see, so he was blind. So he had to do
Like, I
everything in the
can't.
movie. He wore contact lenses that were extremely painful and reduced his vision considerably. So during the action sequences, because of the dim lighting, he could not see it all and had to perform all of his stunts blind.
Oh my God. Whenever I see people in movies from this era with those wild contact lenses, I always am like, oh, they are miserable.
Yeah, 'cause
those
those
were
are-
like basically just like 1 pound pieces of glass they would just
Yep.
shove into your eye.
Yeah, hard contact.
That's that's when Jim Carrey had like a Marine on set to help him deal with pain for the Grinch because he had to put these contacts in that were like super painful. So it was like a guy that was like talking him through the pain of old contacts. Like
In order to then
Terror.
be like action and be the Grinch.
yeah. There's so much to kind of just
Can we talk
unpack.
about
Yeah.
Kevin for 1 second?
Sure, of course.
So
Master
yes, so
Songsmith.
Kevin's journey at the end, he must recall and play the notes.
Oh yes.
Oh, yeah.
Can I
Of the
just play?
Japanese-
Can I have him?
Sure.
say his pitch about this? This is Kevin's pitch. Here we go.
Okay. Ba da da da. Ba da 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 da. Ba da 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 da. Ba. Wait a minute. I've got it. I've got it.
This is Kevin figuring out.
That's it! How did you do that?
I don't know. I just if I hear a tune a couple of times, I can usually remember it. Besides, it had a good hook. I was going to use it in one of my songs.
By the way, that's not also a talent. Like, if I hear a song a couple times, I can remember it. Everybody can do that.
Yeah.
So, yes, go ahead.
Well, so in the beginning, he wants her to show up for his sound check. I guess my question is, are we supposed to believe that he is nervous about performing and is not confident in himself as a musician?
Mm-hmm.
And then by the end of the movie, he's able to...
Oh, I think you're reading way more into this.
No, I actually think what it is that what they need is something that he happens to be able to do. Like he has a secret a tool that they need. He can remember a song because he's a musician. He's a keyboard player in a band.
It wasn't in this clip, but at one point he says to the creature, to the little troll Grildor, he says...
I don't know.
Gwildamore, he says to him...
Gryffindor. Griffin. I think it's Gryffindor.
Yeah, he says to Glendale, Glendale Galleria.
He says to Glenn Close.
He says to Gwyneth Paltrow, I'm scared to do it. I'm nervous to do it.
Yeah.
That's
about their first time having sex, though. Everybody else thinks that Kevin and Grildor are totally doing.
That would be the sequel, that they find love.
Yeah. Grildor, are you kidding? That dude is hot.
By the way, also...
and good to go.
Grildor's a party
horny
guy.
Little dude.
He can make a car in an instant. He finds funny props and costumes.
Oh,
like,
yeah.
He-Man,
for a solid 40 minutes of this movie... He-Man is driving around suburban America in a 1958 Ford Impala.
like a pink Ford Impala.
Like it's crazy.
With like a neon light on the back.
Yes.
And there's no seeming need for it.
None of
they
it.
don't travel
it doesn't
any
make
distance.
Them faster. It doesn't make them do anything.
No, they can't chase it, but at the end they kind of drive through a portal.
Like Skeletor has fucking spaceships. He's driving down Main Street, Little America, so like small town America, in a spaceship.
By the way, one of my favorite scenes in the entire movie, Skeletor is on a giant open air spaceship, akin to a parade float.
Yeah.
The good guys are like hiding out on a roof, and it's a big sneaker upper moment because Skeletor just rises up above them, but. That's giant. That's like a plane landing on your head there. Ooh, where did you come from?
Why are they on the roof? There's been so much airplay. So many people attacking from the air. They're like, where do we go? The roof.
Let's go up.
I think they go to the roof because that's the only way that the spaceship can appear to be flying.
Right.
Because it's the perspective of the people on the roof. So it's just being held up by like a forklift or whatever. So it looks like...
By the way, it does raise and lower like a forklift.
Yeah.
And they just rip off Back to the Future in this with their hoverboards. They have like hover discs and people are flying around, which goes to one of my theories. Whenever we do movies like this, there's always like a theory of like, or for me, my theory is that when a bad movie is here, it's those flying, like anything that's a hoverboard or a skateboard. Whenever there's a scene like that, they're like, the kids will like this. We'll get them on a hover thing. Like, but it's like He-Man precariously on this like little hover thing. It was not even.
It didn't look cool.
He didn't look cool at all. Nope. He was so stiff.
Just so stiff on this like little thing that looked like it was going to teeter over. Like, go get off it. Just run down the street.
Just run. You're like He-Man.
And again, I just want to bring up this one thing about He-Man and his costume. Yes, I'm sure he looks great, but.
He looks a lot like me because he looks like Liam Neeson. I think he's an attractive guy. I don't need to toot my own horn, but
you did at one point just exclaim, "He's sexy."
What about Dolph Lundgren? He's not sexy. I will give you. He's good looking. He's handsome. His body is amazing.
Guy.
But he's not sexy at all.
Okay.
What is his deal? Where is he from? Dolph Lundgren. Like, I don't know anything about him.
He's an MIT grad, so he's a super smart mathematician. That is the truth. Yes. He is from Sweden. And those are the two facts I know about him, is that he's super smart. And
is he just famous for He-Man? Is that
Rocky?
No, he
Rocky
was
IV.
He was like the Russian who fought Ivan Dragov, right?
Okay.
Drago.
I'm sorry.
Yeah, so I think that was his big claim to fame, was like Rocky IV.
And then he became a kind of B actor in like these kind of big action. He was like one of the original Punishers.
But
he's done a bunch of that kind of stuff.
Like he was in. So it was Rocky IV, Masters of the Universe. And then, like, I think Red Scorpion was a big movie, and then it's all just been, like, it just was a lot of like Men of War, Hidden Assassin, Silent Trigger, Blackjack, The Minion. So he's just become that guy.
I love
Yeah.
those. Even those titles are perfectly generic.
Oh, yeah.
The Trigger.
Oh, guys, I just saw this. This is in post-production for Dolph. Kindergarten Cop 2.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah. Oh, he's also in the new Coen Brothers movie, Hail Caesar. So that's interesting.
Really?
Yeah.
Interesting.
Good for him.
Can we talk about the cop?
Oh, yes.
Oh,
yes.
yes.
And,
Yes.
his,
Lubick.
like,
Amazing.
incredible performance, like the most ticks I've ever seen an actor do.
This is amazing.
So much tongue work.
This is the for those of you who don't know, this is the principal from Back to the Future. This is Strickland from Back to the Future playing a very similar character in this.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, this
so
cop
where do
is
you think
bananas.
This is my first question about the cop. Where do you think the movie is set? Like where in America?
Because his accent.
He's a New York cop.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's got
and he's dressed like a New York
dressed
cop.
in a very long leather trench coat.
Yeah.
And he has a thick Bronx, New York accent.
Yeah. I'm going to guess it's like middle America. I'm
That's
going to
what it
guess like
seems to be.
Ohio. Or,
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Indiana. Where did he come from?
I mean, it
Kansas.
seemed like small town USA.
Wait, are we just naming states? Oh, boy. Okay.
This is like you guys are playing a really boring game of password.
Pennsylvania.
Illinois. Oh, God.
It's every town
Nebraska.
USA. But by the way, his energy and attitude
Arkansas.
is
That's the South.
his energy and attitude is of a real beaten down New York cop. Like, all right, come over here.
Yeah.
I got dead kids in there.
Yeah.
Like
You're coming with me.
Like where he should have been the cop of I've never dealt with
Yes.
this. What's going on?
It should be like Andy Griffith. It should be just like this never happens here, and instead he's like, "All right, you're coming downtown."
In the middle, I was like, who am I rooting for here? Who's the dick? Is it the cop or the boyfriend? Because they both come at each other hard, aggressively hard.
Yeah.
But
He was amazing.
Name of a porno I've recently watched.
My favorite was when he saw the thing, the key
The
thing
keytar.
do its thing.
Yeah.
And we just had the best reaction shot in a movie I've ever seen was just him like tongue wriggling around in his mouth, then like hand on face, like twitching around. Like he just did every move.
Everything you could do.
Any choice.
He
like,
made it
every
in
choice
that
he made it.
moment.
And they just let it, like it's the longest shot of the movie. They let it live on him. They're like, this sustains itself.
Yeah.
Or keep on going.
Oh
Keep
my
on
God, I
going.
loved it.
just
He did everything he could do.
Everything.
Like,
Really?
you know that like panic if you're shooting something and you like no one's calling cut. You're like, I guess I'll keep on
I'll
going.
fill this.
So it's like like turning his own tie to spin like and he goes like. He's really suspect of everybody until the end of the movie. Can we just hear this? Is my favorite. I think my favorite part. So the day is saved. Skeletor's defeated.
Oh well, they go from Earth back to Eternia
in the Impala.
The cop comes with them.
Yes, he's now fighting with laser guns too.
Yeah,
and just picked up a laser gun.
Yep.
By the way, the town has been kind of destroyed, or at least the
town
guitar
has
shop.
definitely been destroyed.
That guitar shop.
That guitar shop.
Charlie. P.S. One of my favorite characters in cinema.
Yeah, I
is
love
just
that.
like the wacky buddy Charlie,
Oh, yeah.
who's like wearing every piece of clothing you could possibly wear, like leather hat.
Yes, he's wearing all
Like
the accessories
baseball
that are
jacket.
possible to him.
They're
Like
just
he looks like Paul Schaefer from the early 80s, like that
Yes.
kind of like, I'm wearing everything. I'm a musician, man. It's cool. And his shop oddly has like police scanners and then just a lot of keyboards. Like,
Yeah.
oh, my keyboards. Like he literally says, I think
Why
my
does he have
keyboards.
a police scanner there?
Why does he have a shotgun behind the front? They're like, you got a shotgun,
Because
right,
it's
Charlie? I was
small
like, yeah.
It's small town America. Everybody's
That's
robbing
true.
the music store.
Lubick says it so like, he's like, if someone comes in and causes trouble, you got a gun. And he seemed to be of the age of the teenagers. Like he didn't seem.
Lubick?
He seemed like,
Charlie.
Charlie. He didn't seem like. But it was established that he owned that place. But he seemed
There was
to
a
be the
neon
same
sign
age.
that said Charlie's.
Let's take a listen to this. So at the end of the movie, like
we
you
know
kind of-
he can afford neon, which is no joke.
we kind of forget about Lubick for a second, and this is what happens. They see him on the throne, now dressed in Eternia garb, and here we go.
Well, Lubick, look at you. So you're really gonna stay here, huh?
What, are you kidding? What am I gonna go back there for? And look what I got here. I got a castle, I got a view, I got clean air, I got a beautiful woman, huh?
Huh?
The poor extra.
By the way,
What kind of retirement, huh?
he gets the castle? Like, that's the other thing, too. Like, who's giving everything? Like, this guy did very little in the grand scheme of things.
He's
to save the
basically
day.
Braun from Game of Thrones. He's like an assassin who's been given like you're gonna marry that girl, you're gonna get that castle. Like, who knows? You're that guy.
I don't have faith in that relationship. He's like, I got a girlfriend. Like, when?
I got a woman.
In this 5 minutes of after the fight, you gotta go.
Why would I go back there? It's small town America. Come on, I got a castle. Huh?
I got a
this
view.
girl.
I got a view. The view seemingly from that castle was terrible.
Yeah.
It was a gross, like, dead
Dark.
landscape.
Fresh air.
By the way, I think something might have been wrong with that guy because there's another scene earlier where he's walking with the rest of his police team.
Yeah, he's trying to convince them that something crazy is happening.
Right. And but I don't understand why he never enlists them, why he doesn't enlist them earlier.
They don't, because I think he's a lone wolf. I think he's like a Serpico. I think he's just out. Well, he doesn't know what's going on. First of all, he doesn't know what's going on. There's been the fire at the school. He's investigating an arson. You know, what they think.
Well, no, and the custodian has also been attacked.
Oh, the custodian. What happened? He goes, he says, I can never tell you. Or
you could never know.
Yeah, you could never know. That's
Why
not a
not?
good tact. You should be like,
no, people should
fucking
know.
Monsters were
People
in
should know there are monsters.
And then the cop just went to what's his face, Kevin's house, and then they just started kind of having
Julia's house.
snacks. Oh,
Yeah.
right.
That's Julia's house, and I found it very odd that she called her own home.
Yeah.
Her own home was full of Burger King
Why?
cups, oddly placed Burger King cups.
That is true. Why does she call her house? Because her parents are straight up Deadsville.
Yeah, there's no one there.
And why did he pretend she wasn't alive? Why did he hide that from the cop?
To what end?
Yeah, like
because
what was the cop? The cop would have
That
been
was like
oh,
a
cool,
scene
now we
from
don't have to
Did you think that he
investigate.
thought that like maybe she killed the janitor and lit the place on fire?
Oh, right.
Like I mean, but like if
And
that's
he was
his
going to
thought-
help her escape?
Yeah. Like
He was like, I don't know why you did it, babe, but I know it was right. So I'll meet you. The janitor's
he's
dead.
a good boyfriend. He's covering for her. Like that's like the beginning of Fargo or something. Like he's just covering.
That's so true. Like he has no reason to lie about her being alive, which is his main concern.
Yeah.
He
Oh,
must. He would be like, "Hooray, you're alive!"
Let's tell the cops.
But why does Lubick is so suspicious of Kevin immediately, as if Kevin is like the worst kid in the world?
And really, we're talking about an 18-year-old kid, like a young kid, like not an arsonist who's destroyed this. I mean,
And he's also run into the crime scene to try to figure out what's going on. Like, had he done something, I doubt he would be there.
Well, a lot of times people who commit crimes stick around.
You know what?
Just to
You're
see.
right. To see what they've done.
Yeah.
I've seen 7. That's true. I just want to talk about
Spoiler alert for 7.
I do want to talk about this. The core concept of this movie in general is that they're after a device that is a key, like essentially a keyboard, a circular keyboard that opens portals. That's like the whole movie is the confusion of that as a musical instrument versus a powerful tool. Like
That's the thing. How is this whole He-Man movie? Again, we're talking so little about He-Man. How is this whole He-Man movie about the key, about this keyboard thing?
And when the little troll uses it, he types on it as if like you're miming, like the worst extra work in the background. Like I'm typing, type, like quick, not even looking, like blah, 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 blah.
Yeah.
And then when the evil Lara like has it, or she's like very gentle, like boop, 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 boop. Everyone uses it differently, and it seems, and then the other people are playing
but I think Grildor invented it.
But Grildor seems to be the least effect. He's like,
but Grildor, exactly. Grildor invented it, but cannot seem to use it.
And
he doesn't remember the tunes.
But it seems like
inventing a keyboard, a piano rather, and being like, but I don't know what it does.
He basically says the universe is all music. That's how and so at the end of the movie, to get the wormhole to open, they just kind of hook up a keyboard, and that guy just plays the tune, which Grildor should know because he fucking created it.
Yeah.
And then the thing opens.
Because he would have had to program it and be like, okay, so this sequence opens that kind of a wormhole.
Totally.
And I guess the thought being that, well, if I don't have those specific 90 keys, I can't program it. I can, like...
Who knows? And by the way, Skeletor has one of these keys as well.
Yeah, what?
That was crazy.
So then why
there's
is he
just
after
fucking
that
there's
other
just
key?
rotten. This planet is rotten with keys.
Well, yeah, when he came into Earth with the key, I was like, he's got it?
He's got one too.
I thought
So
that's
why
what-
don't they all just jam out? I mean, like, why don't they just? They might as well just form a band where they're playing these nonsense things. It's garbage.
So Skeletor at one point goes, "If I don't have everything,
Yeah.
I have nothing."
Yes.
So is it just that he just wants?
So such an existential
It was a
dilemma.
beautiful, beautiful line.
I mean, there's, by the way, a lot of poetry in this movie. They also, live the journey
Oh, yeah.
because every
Okay,
destination is a door
actually-
to another adventure.
I thought that theme. Well, here's my pitch for a better ending to this movie. Because I
here we
did
go.
actually
Ready for
like the
this.
idea of we don't say goodbye, we say good journey. So what I thought was going to happen, I did like that idea, and I did cry. When
There was a lot of
reunited with
crying.
her
There was
parents,
some
I cried
pretty intense. Yeah,
hysterically.
Wait,
and
when
Paul
did-
did too.
Wait,
I
when
cried
did
a
you
little.
cry?
I cried a little bit.
When Lubick got his cast
Yeah,
on?
I was like,
Yeah.
finally.
Finally, you've got
Wait,
a
She saw
girlfriend.
her
when did
parents
you
at the
cry?
kitchen table.
Oh, okay.
But-
I'll take that. That was
But
emotional.
It was emotional, but I actually
You were
thought
crying
it would
through the credits. You really
I cried
got.
hysterically through the credits. But what I wish had happened, I think would have made it a better movie, is if she came home, waking up in that, in her nightgown,
Onesie.
and came downstairs and they weren't there, and they were dead, still dead. But what she would have come to is that she doesn't have a chance to say goodbye. I might start crying, but. But what she's now able to say to that is good journey. Because she knows that in a bigger sense, she will get to see them again on this journey. That would have been, to me, that's actually
really
a
beautiful.
beautiful
Would
By the
you
way-
idea.
rather have that than her hurtling through space and time and grabbing them out of an airplane?
Well, no, I thought that was going to happen. I thought we were headed there, and that's
Yeah.
why they were on the plane. But in place of that,
I
I think
see.
also
I see.
there's an opportunity for an ending where they're not there, and because she is really struggling with her grief during this movie,
Sure.
and seeing that mirage of her mom. I mean, I'm very scared of mirages in general. When I saw
That's
that,
the pull quote.
I'm very scared of mirages, in general,
Yes.
period.
When I saw that, I was like,
Judea
don't
Rica.
go over there, don't go over there. And I realized, like, oh, fuck, I'm scared of mirages. But
So this
am, like,
movie made
that's
you
so
realize
fucking creepy to
this
me.
was an epiphany
Yes.
for you, and this movie caused a real realization for you of I am scared of mirages.
Whenever I see it in movies and films and television.
How much are you seeing mirages in?
Not often.
Desert
Now,
movies
how do you
really
feel
get
about
you.
But when
Mirage
I
P.
see it-
Henson? What?
I will not go into the Mirage in Vegas. It's terrifying.
Oh, of course
to me.
not. Well, there's nothing inside there. It's all an illusion.
But I do think there would have been a better ending to the movie, because that actually, as an idea, we don't say goodbye, we say good journey, was interesting to me.
Sure.
And but wasn't because then at the end when her parents were there, it was just like, oh, okay, I guess you get to be with them again.
That was the thing is, like, they're saying goodbye on the other planet. What's it called? He-Man's planet, whatever. They're saying goodbye. Grildor is about to send them through the portal. And they're like, okay, good journey, good journey. Everybody's all upset. Everybody's waving, good journey, okay. And then just as they're about to go through the portal, Courtney Cox is like, oh, wait a minute, Grildor, can you? And then zap, they get zapped through. So like I'm assuming she was going to say, will you send me back to before my parents die?
Yeah.
But like it was almost an afterthought
Yes.
on her part, which I thought was weird. And then her wish is granted in a weird way.
Well, because Grildor knows what's up.
Because Grildor's dialed in to what her journey is.
But see, this is the weird thing about time travel. Time travel as a concept is not really introduced
Until that moment.
until that moment.
Yeah.
Isn't
Yes, where Grildor
I
says,
thought they were
can
just
send
going.
you-
I think they were going. I thought they were going laterally.
laterally.
Like, you know,
Okay.
like, yeah.
Totally.
yeah.
Traveling in time.
No, and then Grildor at the end says, I can send you any place in space and time.
By the way,
Such
that was
a good Grildor.
That was great.
amazing
Grildor.
Grildor.
I didn't even know I was going to do it.
Grildor?
I didn't even know I was.
You
I
should
didn't
get
know I
a
had it in me.
Remake, Jason. Let's do Grildor.
Call me, owners of the franchise Masters of
Gary
the Universe.
Goddard.
By the way, there was a sequel written that was never shot.
Oh, really?
Yeah, this movie also shut down 3 days before it was supposed to end production. So that's why maybe some of the plot holes are not
they
all
were able
tied
to
together.
have Jimi Hendrix. They played Jimi Hendrix in this movie.
What?
Really?
What
Yes,
do you mean?
in Charlie's music store, Hendrix is playing.
Whoa.
Right.
And they have the song "Living in a Box." I'm a living in a box. I'm a living in a cardboard box. I'm a living in a box. Remember that song? Terrible. Oh, guys.
What is
I
that
don't know
song?
what's
Oh,
happening
you guys
right
are
now.
all too young. It's like a
There's a
terrible.
song called "I'm Living in a Box."
I'm living in a box. It's a
cardboard
terrible
box?
song. It was like the equivalent of like you remember Walk the Dinosaur?
Yeah.
The was not was.
Dinosaur.
I feel like it was like a that.
boom.
It was like
Yeah.
a that kind of a song, but
the-
maybe 10 years earlier. Or
What is the song about?
living in a box, living in a cardboard box. Maybe it's about a homeless person. I don't know.
Gross
people.
Gross
Yeah, these
people.
gross people can't afford planes.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
That song was
hate
playing, and I
people
was
who
like,
can't
oh my God,
afford
remember
planes.
this song? But that
never
made me
heard of that
think,
song.
like, they must have spent money, because that
Buy
song was
music,
a hit. They must have
yeah.
spent money buying
Well,
music.
you know, there's actually a great documentary about all these films that Brett Ratner produced. It's called it's Masters of the Universe. It's Superman 4, The Quest for Peace, the Golden or Globus, whatever these guys are. They just made these insane movies, and it was just like these. It's a great documentary. I think it's coming out in a week now on digital, but it's like the history of this studio that was just like. Fuck it. There's they just everything. Because this is a movie written by somebody who's like, yeah, we got that name. All right. It has nothing to do with it. It's like just white guys in a room going, yeah, and kids, and the kids are like, that their kids in there, and He-Man, and forget it all. There's nothing to tie the kids who love the comic. And this happens all the time, like Mario Brothers or Super Mario. It's like, oh yeah, let's not get them out of there. Put them in the world. It's like, it makes no sense. I want to just play, just for this 2 clips that I love. This is just Dolph and the chemistry that he has with Courtney Cox. This is, and this you kind of catch the phonetic English that's going on.
Dolph Lundgren appears to exist separate from everybody else in the movie.
Yeah.
Everybody else
Yeah, he
seems
was
to
shot
have
in another
relationships with each other.
They had to set up
Kevin
shots
and Courtney
yeah.
Cox, the Mustachio and his
daughter,
perhaps daughter. Everybody's teamed up. Dolph Lundgren just is floating in the ether almost.
Here's Dolph in his English.
It's all right. It's all right. Don't be afraid. I won't hurt you. Now, what are you running from?
That's all.
Running from these monsters.
Courtney Cox
Greater than
is adorable in this movie.
She's got to do a
so
lot.
Cute.
By the way, that I think is a tough role to pull off. And I'm sure it's one of her earliest roles too. It's she's got to go from she's got death in the family. She's running from aliens. She's fighting. She's she's got.
I loved her in this.
I thought it was great.
I was
great.
very on board for Courtney Cox and the kid who plays Kevin. I thought
he was great.
I thought it was really interesting because they were basically those kids that were basically in an 80s teen movie.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And everybody else is in some fucking
That's what I'm saying.
weird nonsense
Well,
movie.
that's the kind of the fun world of it. It's they're we got this teen movie and we'll just throw in this other thing. It's kind of like this weird mashup. Well, obviously we had opinions about this movie. There are other people out there that had a different opinion. It is now time for Second Opinions.
Second Opinions from top to bottom. Crazy movies. I thought we retired this one. This is we
got to take the ones
this
from
is seizure inducing.
We can pull it out. We got we got to take the Amazon.
I feel like blood is going to come out of my ears and nose. There's just so much going on. It's like a cacophony of nonsense.
I will say when I scour Amazon for these Second Opinions, it's easy to pull some out. This was hard. There were 500 5-star reviews for this movie. Yeah. A lot of love for Masters. But here's
Is that what we're calling it now? Masters?
Yeah, for Masters.
Sure. A lot of love for Masters.
A lot of love for Masters.
Is that just what we're doing?
That's
we're
what
gonna
it
be
is.
okay with
it's
that?
Masters.
A lot of love for Masters. Oh, what'd you guys do on the show this week, Masters?
Masters.
Total classic rock.
This is from Marissa, and it is the title of it is ... Awesome gift from my mom. And here it goes. Awesome gift from my mom. She loves this movie. I'm glad it's available on DVD. 5 stars.
The mom loves it.
Mom loves it. Awesome gift from my mom. So that's if everyone wants to give their mom a gift that keeps on giving. Okay, here we go. This is okay. This is by Plebes. I always thought that little dwarf snagged the bucket of chicken. I know 5 stars should be reserved for the unblemished, and I'm aware that they stole embarrassingly from Star Wars, and that there's a villain sporting a white shawl, not to mention all the big dog critics who snubbed their noses. But I think this film is one of the best superhero fantasy movies out there. And when Evil Lynn wanted to break the promise and Skeletor wouldn't let her, genius. Pure genius.
What?
5 stars. This is almost, that is unedited, just train of thought.
So, and just to make sure, because I did want to mention it earlier, Skeletor's sidekick is a woman named not Evelyn, not Evelyn, Evil
Lynn.
hyphen Lynn.
I don't know why that article or that review starts off with, I always thought the little dwarf snagged the
Yeah.
bucket of...
Yeah, that-
He
it's in
obviously
there.
does.
Yeah,
I mean,
there's
that was
no,
like a point of contention.
no
Like,
debate. Yeah.
debate.
Well,
There was a debate.
Finally, this release settles it.
Finally, they attack it in the
like,
movie.
It's basically like, did Greedo shoot first?
Yeah. Okay, this is from E.M. Woodfill, Eileen Woodfill, written in 1999. I think this is the best movie I've seen in science fiction. I mean, this movie is exciting. I don't get the part that the bad guys needed the key if they already had the key. And that part doesn't make sense to me. But she wrote, that part doesn't make sense to me. My favorite part is when Courtney Cox is Julie. By the way, of course as Julie. Like, yeah. That's the only character she plays.
My favorite part
That's
is
not a
when
part.
Courtney
Well,
Cox
no, I gotta
is
finish.
Julie?
My favorite
Period?
part is when Courtney Cox as Julie gets hit by Skeletor poison. One more part where Skeletor and He-Man had their battle at the end. That's the review. So her two favorite parts is when Courtney Cox as Julie gets hit by
genuinely
Skeletor
hope-
poison, and one more part where Skeletor and He-Man had their battle.
The only way that
5
would make
stars.
sense is if at the
5
very
stars.
end that person was like, I am 5 years old. Like, you know what I mean? Like, if an
because-
adult wrote that, shame.
know.
Oh,
Shame
man.
on
This
you.
is a movie to me. I know I've talked about these types of movies before where I would just, as a child, you'd watch a movie that was on TV because you want to watch a movie.
Yeah, on TV.
You want to watch a movie on TV. So I would find myself watching a movie like this, and it would be great because it was just simply
A movie.
Something
it was
to watch.
simply
yeah.
a
Oh, yeah.
movie.
Yeah.
And
Just
so
something to-
therefore it was great.
For as
I get that.
in regards
Yeah.
as something to watch, it
was
really
very
pays off.
nice. It's great to watch something.
There's a lot of things that fall into that category for me that are like movies that in my mind I still think are awesome because they were on like a Sunday afternoon on Channel 56 and I was like,
Yes.
fuck yeah.
Yeah.
I remember seeing Mixed Nuts with Steve Martin. It still remains one of my favorite movies because I saw it as a child and was one of the only VHS tapes we had. And so I watched it over and over and over again because
Sure.
I was just so excited that it was a movie that I could see.
Yeah, I remember the first kid in our neighborhood, in my town, I feel like, but no, not in my area, to get a VCR only had 2 tapes, and they were Grease. Great.
Everybody had
Yeah.
Grease on
Yeah.
VHS.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was
Why
like,
is that?
I think VHS and Grease were the same time.
They are
Right?
same
Like,
VHS was created for
VHS
Grease.
Yeah.
came about exactly.
a huge step in technology was
Yeah.
created.
Travolta was like,
for
"Hey, you know, I
Grease.
got an idea. What if we?" No, I think they just came to market at the same time, and so Grease profited from that. The other one though was the Burt Reynolds movie Hooper.
Oh yeah.
What's that?
Where he it's a car jumping movie. It's like all he does is like jump cars off of bridges. It's nonsense.
It's a stuntman
It's a
written and
stuntman
directed
movie,
movie.
yeah.
It's
awesome.
Yeah.
I think it's awesome, but it might be
I
terrible.
know.
Well-
the movie I watched as a kid all the time was not Brewster's Millions, The Toy.
The Toy, yeah.
The Toy was one I watched
That's
all
a
the time.
very weird movie.
Yeah.
I also watched Grease 2, always on VHS, Mixed Nuts, and Regarding Henry,
Oh
wow.
which we
Interesting.
happen to have on VHS.
J.J. Abrams' first script.
Yeah.
I was Turtles
Was it?
too.
Yeah.
That's
Turtles
what
too. That was yours.
Yeah.
Really?
Like I can't tell you
Turtles 2
how
Secret
many
of the
times
Ooze?
I've seen that movie.
Secrets of the Use?
Yeah,
used
that's
to
how.
be-
This is how this
Oh,
connection
that's
has
right.
happened.
I
I
remember
can
now.
quote
Okay.
like the impact sounds of like the fight scenes.
What?
Like I know it so well.
I would
It's
love
in-
it if just to like be watching it with you and for you to be not only reciting all the dialogue word for word, but then being like, Psh.
No, I've sat down and watched it with my boyfriend, and he's like, "Shut up," because I kind of want him to know that I know all these sounds, but at the same time, it's the most irritating thing. That
I
very
used to
romantic.
record. I used to record movies on cassette tape and then listen to them in a headset. So I would memorize movies,
Whoa,
and there.
Paul.
I know. Beverly Hills Cop. I can pretty much do verbatim.
Really?
I should do a one-man
yeah.
show. Beverly Hills Cop.
That would be amazing.
You would
Can we
listen
put
to them on
up our
tape?
shows
Oh, yeah.
at like let's do like
That
a
would be
night
amazing.
of like
Just
one
scenes,
person
like,
shows?
yeah, that would- I would love that.
Full
Just acting
scenes.
it
You
out.
should do a show in which you get you two and a couple of more people, and you have to it's a competition show. Who can go the longest, perfectly reciting dialogue
Oh my
from
God.
a
I
movie?
need
And-
to do
and,
Anna
like-
Green Gables.
Really?
Really?
Yes, Anna
Can-
Green Gables,
the Canadian
and
movie?
of course, with Megan Follows.
Yeah.
Anna Green Gables and Anne of Avonlea. I could do the entire film.
Really?
Yes.
Oh, and didn't
Yes, I could.
Andrew just die?
Oh no! Don't upset you.
The actor who
No.
plays Gilbert.
Oh,
Blythe,
Gilbert. Sorry.
yes.
Yes, sorry.
Yeah, that's a sore spot.
I just wanted
to. My apologies. My condolences.
I did.
He was too young.
I did do a little.
I don't want to talk about that.
Research. That documentary I was talking about is called Electric Boogaloo: The Wild Untold Story of Canon Films, and they are behind movies like Death Wish, American Ninja, Delta Force, Over the Top, Masters of the Universe, Superman 4, and a movie called The Happy Hooker. They basically
but not Electric Boogaloo. But not Breaking 2 Electric Boogaloo?
Maybe it is. I'm just looking really quickly here. So that's what I got there.
Well, that sounds awesome.
Well, it has been amazing to get us all together to talk about this film. And before we get to plugs, I just want to play Frank Langella just to give us a little taste of his power, and we'll wrap it up.
Because he is great.
He, honest to God, great in this movie. And I feel
he's always great.
But I also feel like he was like, oh, they don't know what they're doing, so I'll just do 4 monologues and they'll all be pretty good. Like, they were fun.
And engaging. Like, I did find myself watching Skeletor and...
For a man behind a mask, like a full mask where you're not seeing eyes or anything.
Yeah. No, you're seeing eyes.
I mean,
but very small.
Yeah. You're not seeing it. There's very
no
hard
mouth
to
movement. There's no nothing.
It is mask work.
Yeah.
It is.
He's doing some improv.
Fine mask work.
Here we go.
Of what consequence are you now? This planet, these people, they are nothing to me. The universe is power. You, unstoppable power. And I am that force. I am that power. Kneel before your master.
I love movies.
You are no longer my equal. I am more than man, more than life.
I love when you have like a good actor in a movie like this, and you're like, "Fuck it, I'll act the shit out of this."
Anyways, Rich, can I get one more take? I just want to pause more between those final words.
All right, so that brings us to the end of the episode. Somebody did write a detailed description of what the movie is, but it makes no sense. Okay, so get to
Paul, I love it. Listening to movies on tape.
Oh yeah.
Oh my God.
Like while you're mowing the lawn,
Running Scared in Beverly Hills Cop,
and just like putting movies on.
Oh,
tape
I just put a little.
Listening to
Yeah.
Do you just picture? Do you imagine what? Like, do you remember the scenes and like?
Yeah, I guess like
them?
to me it was sort of like, oh, how could I watch this movie like on the school bus? Like, and I just would put my little recorder in front of my TV and just record them, and you could get it. You know, it was like just dialogue.
I'm amazed. I think that's a great idea.
So great.
And just being like on the bus, and I remember being embarrassed because of like, this girl that was sitting next to me, and I'm like, "What are you listening to?" And she's like, "Pink Floyd," and she's like, "What are you listening to?" I'm like, "Running Scared," a movie with Billy Crystal and Gregory Hines. I remember I was at the
You're
high.
listening to a movie?
Yeah.
Hey guys, Paul Shear's listening to a movie on his Walkman.
I just felt so.
Get him.
That was also in a period of my life where the only music I listened to were movie soundtracks.
Oh wow.
Yeah, so I had only movie soundtracks. So I was like listening to like Tom Hanks and Dan Aykroyd doing the rap from the Dragnet movie.
Oh my God.
Like terrible songs, and because it was all like, you know, Man-Sized Love from a band called Climax. I know all this. Like, I know so many movie soundtracks. Like, yeah, it's amazing. Back to the Future soundtrack on all the time.
Oh my God, I love it.
Well, what do you have to plug? Would you like to plug anything?
I don't know if I have anything to plug.
You can follow you on Twitter.
Follow me on Twitter.
Yeah.
I think at Tatiana Maslany. Yeah.
All right.
That's all I got. I got nothing.
What do you want to plug?
Well, you can. I'm on Twitter at Ms. June Diane, and you can still check out Grace and Frankie, which is streaming on Netflix.
Jason.
I'm in a movie called Sleeping with Other People that's out right now. Depending on where you live and depending on when this episode comes out, please go see that. Jason Sudeikis, Allie Brie, me.
We know her as Allison Brie.
Allison Brie.
My special with Rob People, Crash Test, just came out on iTunes for $3.99 with a bunch of people you love. Aziz, Rob Corddry, Aubrey Plaza, and Jason and I and June are all in the league this season, which is airing right now on FXX.
And we'll get it out. We'll put it out there. Tatiana's going to be on this season of the league too.
Yeah, great.
Yep.
Yeah.
Orphan Black, League crossover.
Crossover. Let's do it.
I'm doing a major Frank Langella monologue. Lots of pausing.
If you have an issue with this episode, you want to give us a correction and omission, you can do that at the earwolf.com message boards. So follow us on Twitter at HDTGM. And a big thank you to Nate Kiley doing our research, Avril Halley pulling all of our clips, our engineer Ryan, everybody here at Earwolf, July Diaz, the whole crew, everybody. We love you all. Thank you so much. We'll see you next time on the mini episode. Stay tuned.
How to discriminate.